So we have a lot to talk about today.
We do have a lot to talk about today, so let's have Leah start us off.
Oh, I'm starting this
Yeah,
today?
why the heck not?
First of all, I have a whole thing about being on your partner's phone. That's controversial, too.
I don't think you should go on your partner's phone.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't want to go on his phone.
Me neither.
I think you don't trust them.
It's so weird how, like, other people input their opinions into, like, what...
Everything.
Like, like, what they deem... Like, I've heard people say, well, don't bother proposing to me if you don't have at least one carrot. You know what? You're not doing it for love, then.
I gave Justin a new non-negotiable in our relationship.
Oh, Jesus. But I feel like...
You don't agree with that?
No, I agree. I had this conversation
also
with my parents, and they're like, that's weird. If, like, you, like, live with someone, I'm like, how?
First
you need
of
to
all,
know what you're getting yourself into.
I would rather live with that person and be like, okay, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
Than marry them. Like, I know couples that have been together for like 10 years and they're like, oh my god, I would never like fart in front of my boyfriend or my
crazy
husband.
to me.
And I'm like, how is that humanly possible? Like, how are you not like exploding inside?
Once you're engaged, you're like, holy shit, I have to plan a whole wedding now, and it's gonna cost us how much? And like, now there's family drama involved too. Like, who's getting invited, who's not getting invited.
Yeah,
and,
there's
like,
always
there's
always drama wrapped around weddings, no matter what it is. So.
And so who, if you click the link in our bio, it automatically will bring you to, so it goes to the App Store to download the Spaces app, and then it already prompts in like that code
like for
that
the
you need
Ivory
for
and Me code,
So you don't even need to do anything.
And the app is
beyond
great
that.
too because it keeps you updated if we have sales, when our podcasts come out, events, blog posts, anything that's going on.
You can do shopping.
Yeah, you can do shopping right from the app. Welcome to another episode of
Brides, Booze, and Boobs.
Yay! Hello, ladies.
We have a table now.
We have a table because it was weird. Well, it wasn't weird. It was just like, here we are sitting far away from the couch. Like, there was no place to like lean. Yeah, it was like really difficult to like get comfortable, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I'm like on this like friggin' slipper chair.
And now we're all close together.
Yeah, we're closer together. And,
so we have a lot to talk about today.
We do have a lot to talk about today. So let's have Leah start us off.
Oh, I'm starting this
Yeah,
today?
why the heck not?
Okay, well, I figured, so I thought that our listeners could probably use some background on, like, our relationship statuses.
Okay.
Because we're all in 3 different areas of our lives right now.
Yes, we are.
So Corinne is happily married.
Yeah, I'm married. Continue.
Okay. I'm engaged, and Andrea...
I'm single.
Single and ready to mingle. So if you have any brothers,
Is she really? Are you ready to mingle though, Andrea?
she
I've been
is.
mingling too much. I think I need to stop mingling.
Andrea needs a brain break from mingling.
No, she needs to.
She needs a mingle break.
No, I think my mingling is just getting started. It's actually very funny. Who I mingle with.
Oh my god.
God.
Let's not drop names.
I know.
That'll
be for our Patreon.
Yeah, that's a
with
Patreon
lawsuit.
account thing.
I
And
mean,
there's like, that's like a...
She's talking to a celebrity, if you're wondering. But
let's not go that far.
he has like 1.9 million followers.
No, he's a celebrity.
So he is a celebrity.
I feel like
he has his own TV show. So...
Well, it's not his own. Well,
but
technically it is. He's on it.
It is. He's a main character.
And he's slid right into her DMs.
Yeah,
like
so if you're
Slimy
interested...
Slimy Slake. Does he watch this?
He might. You should tell him to start and tell him to plug it on his own.
He's not
channel.
a slimy slake. A slake. I don't know why I keep saying slake. I don't even know the man, to be honest with you. I don't watch that.
Me neither, but he wants to hang out. So.
If you're interested in hearing this
Tell him to come
juicy
here.
gossip, we're gonna have the Patreon account
Eventually.
and we'll dish all of that dirty details on that one because they do get a little spicy.
Maybe. Eventually.
So
possibly.
But so yeah, Andrea is very single.
And loving life.
I loved being single, I have to say.
It
was a lot of fun.
The first year being single was a little rough, but now, like, I don't know. I really enjoy it. You know, I feel like girls kind of process the emotions first, and guys kind of ignore them, and then, like, over time the roles reverse, where then, like, guys process them later, and girls are like, oh my god, this is great. You know what I mean?
Yes. I did enjoy my single years.
I was in
college. Good time. Again, topics for the Patreon account.
I would tell you guys to join the club, but you're both
I feel like I met my fiance in a very...
I said it. Married.
I say all the time, Justin and I met in a hopeless place.
Oh my god!
As for the wise words of Rihanna, we found love in a hopeless place because it was Tinder.
It's okay. A lot of the brides meet their significant other online.
I know. I'm noticing
that's
that.
Like the thing.
Yeah. I used to be so embarrassed.
Now. It wasn't popular at one time, but now it is.
Yeah. I used to be so embarrassed. I used to be like, how am I going to tell our family we met on Tinder? Turns out no one cares. Yeah. No one cares at all. And it's just like, you know what? I was enjoying my single life, and that's exactly how I found the person, because I didn't have any expectations. Yeah. And then he stumbled into my life, and now we're engaged.
See, Tinder and like dating apps give me anxiety because like I met up with this guy and he literally said to me like whatever, like he was super nice and I really liked him, whatever, and he liked me too for the time being, but he said to me that he thinks I'm like really like pretty in pictures but like much better like in person.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like that was
I thought that was going somewhere else.
Oh no. But like I just feel like with dating apps, for me, like I don't do them anymore because I just feel like that pressure, like, oh, what if I don't look like my picture type
That's
of
true.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, you know how when you look at a picture of yourself sometimes you're like, is that what I look like? I don't know. That's why for me I kind of like meeting people in person because
do you think it's too desperate to like meet someone on a dating app?
Not at all. When I was on Tinder, it was purely for like ego boosts, truthfully. But then like I've met some like really like I met my ex on there. Right? Yeah. Well, it just depends on who you talk to. Like you can kind of weed out the good guys from the bad guys because some guys will say like really awful things right out of the gate. You just have to make sure that their intentions are pure if that's what you're looking for.
And the meeting a stranger that you met online is always a questionable area. It's hard to do that.
Well, it's scary because some guys, like you said, aren't.
What I would do was I would make it like a group thing, like his friends and my friends. We would all like meet together and then kind of, because if it doesn't go right, at least you have an out with your friends, you know what I mean? And then from there you determine if you want to go on a one-on-one date.
I like it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Smart.
It is
smart girl.
So a lot of us here know about how you met Paul.
I mean, it's an interesting story. We never told it on the thing.
We told it on the exclusive one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that comes out, so
unless I don't know. Maybe
the original episode 3.
Yeah, they're all like kind of blurring together for me at this point. So just give a quick synopsis.
Yeah. So I worked for a company, and then Paul got a job there, and I didn't like him, and I tried to get him fired. And that's pretty much the extent of that. And then we became friends after that. Like they moved him to a different department, and we became friends. And then I remember he came over. I'd gotten a new apartment because I had just broken up with I was with someone, so I had a boyfriend for quite some time. And I got an apartment after I broke up with my boyfriend, and then I was like, oh, can you come over and help me paint? And then the next thing I know, poof, he was like, didn't leave. And that was it. And then 7 months later, he proposed. And then, let's see, July, August, October, November, 5 months later, I found out I was pregnant with Gianna.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah.
But I knew him for 2 years prior. So it's not like we just met and then like with it. So I had known him from like 2001 maybe. And then we got together in 2003. And then we had Gianna in 2005. Wait a minute. Right, because it was the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you had to call off the wedding?
Yeah, so you called off the wedding.
Well, so he proposed. I remember it was so funny because when he proposed, we were at my brother-in-law's house, their apartment. And there was a whole bunch of people there. And then all of a sudden he like looks at me and he gets down. Like I looked at him and I remember I like put my hand on his face and I go, what's the matter? I go, do you not feel good? I go, you look like you're going to throw up. And then he was like, no, I'm fine. I mean, we were drinking too, so it could have just been like, you know, whatever. And he's like, no, I'm fine. And then all of a sudden I see him and I'm like, what are you doing down there? Oh my God. And then, and then he just asked me. And I remember he had given me, my sister-in-law had a band that she let him, like a gold just like a gold band that she like lent him to ask me because he wanted to use. So his mom had this necklace that was his grandmother's diamonds from her engagement ring that they gave it to Paul's mom, and then she had them made into her engagement ring, and then she had them made into a necklace when Paul's dad had given her another ring. So Paul wanted those diamonds to make the ring, but he wanted to do it, I guess, the two of us together. So he borrowed this band. And it's funny because I remember people commented that it was like lame that he gave me like a borrowed band, but I didn't care. It was like, I just thought it was the most adorable thing, and he didn't want to wait. And I just thought it's so weird how like other people input their opinions into like what
everything,
like like what they deem. Like I've heard people say, well, don't bother proposing to me if you don't have at least 1 carat. You know what? You're not doing it for love then. You're doing it for the ring. And exactly. I just think that's like, I don't know. I just think it's so, to me, it was more special that he did it like this than, I don't know. It's never been about that stuff for me. So I just was happy that he asked. Like, I just thought it was like the cutest thing. And I was so happy. And there was a video that circulated because someone had taken it like a little, like, because we had like actual like video cameras at the time. Like little handheld ones. I don't remember what happened to it though. I would love to find it if it's around floating somewhere in like a box probably. But yeah, and then so we waited for the wedding because I didn't want to walk down the aisle. I was like, I'm gonna have Gianna in August and then we're gonna get married in September, and I didn't want that. So we decided to wait, and then
that's so sweet.
How long did you wait?
A long time because we got married in 2019, but me and Paul, like, we split in the middle. So after a couple years, we were very young, we did things very fast, and I mean, it's so funny because people look at us and they're always like, oh, you guys, you have money, you have this, you have that, you have car, and I'm like, we literally were like, had to call Paul's parents to buy diapers for us, like for Gianna. Like, we worked for every single thing that we've gotten, and I think that's another thing that people always have to have an opinion about. Like, they don't realize that that people work their asses off to get what they get, and nothing comes from, definitely nothing was ever handed to me and Paul, that's for sure. So we've worked our asses off, but it's been one hell of a wild ride. We've been together for, it's going to be 20 years in 2023.
Oh my God.
How's that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Like, it's so bizarre. Yeah. Like, it's like 20 years. Like, I've been with him for almost half my life. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you put it like that, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like, it's weird. Like, when you think about it. Like, even like for him, how old is Paul? He's younger than me. So he'll be 42. So he's 3 years younger than me. So it's like, I don't know, like, it's weird. It's even like almost half of his life. I don't know anything else. Like, you don't, like, it's weird. Like, you just, like, that's why you guys say, like, happily married. Yeah, we're married. Like, but it's been 20 years of ups and downs, and every year, every couple of years, like, everyone goes through like these, like, storms, and I guess it's just how you kind of like maneuver through it, and you're gonna have ups and downs. And there's days when I go home and I'm just like, I don't want to look at you. It's true though. Yeah. Like, like, I'm like, I don't like the way you sneeze. You know what I mean? But
but at the end of the day, like, that's your person.
That's it. And and it's just, you just do what you got to do. And
because that's the person who chooses to be with you through thick and thin.
Right, exactly.
And vice versa.
Exactly.
And that's nice to have a partner.
It's nice. That's what marriage is about.
It's about having a partner.
It's true. Someone to, like, go, because it's like the one person that, like, understands everything that, like, even if, like, you're going through something and they're going through something, it's like the one person. Like, me and Paul are not shy with each other. Like, I know that there's other couples that are like, oh my God, like, I know couples that have been together for like 10 years and they're like, oh my God, I would never like fart in front of my boyfriend or my husband. I could never. And I'm like, how is that humanly possible? Like, how are you not like exploding inside?
I will say, it took me a long time to get comfortable like that in front of Justin.
Really?
A long time. Yeah. Even when we lived together for like the first year, I would only go to the bathroom number 2 if he wasn't home.
Oh, yeah. In the beginning, I was like the kind of like the same way, but like, how are you gonna do that? Like, I literally will kick the door open while Paul's taking a big old
Well, now, like, we're very comfortable. Like, he'll be talking to me while he's on the toilet, and I'll be getting ready for work. Or, the stomach bug hit us really hard this year. Yeah, so, like at that point, we're just there for each other.
Each other at your worst.
Yeah. So, and it's even better now, our relationship, after getting as close as we are, and I can't wait to see how much closer we get.
Yeah.
I don't know how much closer we could possibly get.
It's hard. Now you're going to go through other things, because, like, if you choose to go down that road, once you have kids and stuff like that, like, I remember, like, waking up in the middle of the night and, like, or changing a diaper or whatever it was, and Paul just being like, Jesus Christ, there's fucking shit everywhere, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you're just like, what is happening? Like, things just bizarre things, like it's just, I don't know, it's just gross. Like, it's just the whole, like, having kids is great, but like the whole behind it is just like, I can't believe I'm sitting here like cleaning up vomit off of a floor, you know, and it's just insane. And you'll go through all these things together if he's like hands-on. Like, Paul was the most hands-on parent, I swear to God. Wow. I could not have asked for a better like dad, like, in that respect. Like, I remember he'd be like, you sleep, like, when she was born, he'd be like, you sleep, I'll wake up with her. He changed diapers, he fed her, he brought her to the store. Paul never said babysit. The word never, that did not come out of his, you know, he was just did as much as I did. Like, we were definitely equal. That?
Or were you expecting him to be more hands-off? Like, did he give you any, like, impression before you did?
He didn't have any experience with babies, period. Mm-hmm. He was pretty much one of the youngest in his family, I think, on that side. So, and there were really no girls except for his one cousin. So it was, and she was much older than him. So, I didn't really know. Like, I remember taking, like, this Sesame Street doll, and I was like, we're going to practice how to change diapers on this thing.
Oh, my God.
I probably still have that doll somewhere in a box from Gianna with the diaper on it, because it was so funny. And he was literally like a pro. Like, you know, Paul has a huge heart. He's not, like, the most personable person. He's very quiet. And kind of just, like, stands back. And when he has something to say, he's going to say it. Like, you know, Andrea. Yeah. But he, I don't know. I don't know if I was definitely expecting it.
Like, I don't know what to expect. Like, if Justin and I do end up having kids, I don't know what to expect from him. Yeah. He's a nurse, but I say he has the worst bedside manner ever, because when I'm sick, he makes me wear a mask. And he tells me I'm traumatic.
Bedside manner is not good. But when Gianna was little, like, now he'd be like, you're sneezing, go to your room. You know what I mean? Like, she's older, like, those days are gone.
Yeah.
And even when I'm sick, he's like, oh my God, like, he's such a hypochondriac. Yeah. But, like, when she was a baby and, like, growing up, he was just always, like, you know, hands-on. And then again, like, when we split for like that like year and a couple months, it was like he had to, because he had her like on the weekends and stuff like that. So he had to do what he had to do, but he was always really, honestly, I could not have asked for, you know, like, better in that department, like, God forbid, because I see other parents, like, just in my like little corner of the world, and I'm just like, wow, your husband's a jackass. Like, I'm just like, do some, like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't even understand, like, why are they not helping you? And then I have other friends or cousins that, like, they're so, like, again, like, hands-on, and I just think that's really great. I think that if you're going to become parents, you both need to, it shouldn't be one-sided.
Yeah, it can't be.
No. And we both worked, too. When Gianna was little, we were like, okay, the daycare at that time was too much for us to afford, and I was like, it doesn't even pay for me to go to work. We're going to pay more money in daycare. And then when she got a little bit older, I went to like 4, I think she was, I started working. So again,
how do you guys make time for each other?
We really don't. Yeah. So that's not, I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, sometimes we'll sit at home and like watch television. We probably could work on that a little better.
Yeah.
But we really don't. Our lives are so like all over the place that it's he's coming, I'm going, coming, he's going. It's very, very difficult to manage that, and I have to say we don't have a good balance in that department. Like, we see each other every day, like, don't get me wrong, but we don't, it's not like where we're like, oh, let's go to bed at the same time, or sometimes we do, like, if we're watching television, but it's very rare. Like, he needs his downtime and I need mine, and maybe that's why too, we're not on top of each other. Half the time he goes out, I don't know where the heck he is.
Yeah.
And I know he's working, or like with me, he's like, all right, well, she's at work, or she went to the store. Like, we're not that type of couple where I don't keep tabs on him. I trust him, and that's just it. So I don't really, but yeah, we probably could make more time. It's hard when you have 3 girls living in your house, 3 teenagers. So it's like their stuff is like, and then work. Yeah. And we both own businesses, so it's like, it's not like we have 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Yeah.
Even vacations, you say, like, it's so difficult. You're like, oh, let's go away. It's like, when? When do you go away? Like, when can you? But it's really important to do that stuff when you get, because you will kind of like, you can sort of like, I don't want to say drift, but you can go into a place where that becomes more important than your actual, relationship. And where we are friends, you definitely lose some of that connection if you don't keep that.
I gave Justin a new non-negotiable in our relationship.
Oh, Jesus.
And that is that I think he and I need to take a one-on-one romantic trip every year together.
Okay.
Like, we need to plan that trip, because in the 4 years that we've been together, we have never taken like a romantic and I vacation
by yourselves.
We live together. We've lived together since we were together 9 months.
Yeah.
We moved in right after I graduated college. So for him, he's like, I see you every day, and I'm like, but that's not a romantic vacation. Like,
well, no, it's not taking like the time that you need to like go out. And you know what? When you're away, it is a different feeling. Like, than even if you just go like out to dinner. It's just a different type of. Me and Paul have been away together like 1 time alone.
Really?
It's been it's almost 20 years. One time.
God.
One time with no kids, Florida. So, whatever.
Well, right now we're trying to plan our honeymoon, because we're getting married next September. So by next, end of September, October, we're trying to figure out where to go. And I originally was like, let's go to Dubai, Maldives, all of that, and like make it a bucket list honeymoon. But then with how much we're spending on the wedding, we're like, that's going to be another like $10,000 to $15,000 trip. Like, we're going to be scraping the barrel for like at that point for like savings. So he's like, should we just do something like closer to home? Like, we could go to Punta Cana or like somewhere like Aruba and do over the water bungalows there. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm disappointed, because I wanted to do like our whole like bucket list. We'll never do it again. This is our honeymoon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's something we're like on the fence about. But it's hard when you're planning a wedding, and weddings nowadays are like $60,000
easily.
Yeah, we're easily up to that right now. So, and we're not even finished planning.
Yeah,
so.
Easily. Because even mine, I was like, oh, we're not going to spend more than like $40,000. Yeah, right. Listen, you can do it
immediately.
But if you're trying to do everything that you want to do, and you want like those amazingly beautiful, huge roses or flowers, and you want like the best DJ, and you want the add-ons, and it's not that you can't keep it budgeted. You absolutely can. But
I really couldn't believe where I was getting quoted for just flowers alone.
Oh my God, the
like
flowers.
$8,000.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God.
But they were beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But they were very expensive.
It's very expensive, and Justin was like having a hard time coping with the fact that we're spending that much, almost $10,000 on flowers for one day.
Paul had a problem with that too. The flowers really blew his mind, because he was like, they're gonna die. He's like, and we're not even gonna take half of these home. And I was like, okay. And he was like, and they're pretty for the pictures. I was like, yeah, but the music. Well, to me, music is very important. It's like my world.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, okay, let's spend the money. Did we need to spend the money on the lighting and the fireworks? And no.
Yes.
So I was
I say yes.
I just can't believe that he loves it. And he did. He was like, I really like it.
That was Justin too.
Yeah, it was very old. It looked like a villa. I don't know. It was very cool, that place. Cool. It was so like
very Gatsby.
Yeah, it was very Gatsby. It was very like. Yeah, I mean, that's really, like, the best way to describe it. It was, like, old world type of, and, like, that middle room reminded me, like, I felt like I was, like, in a different country. It was just so awesome. If anyone wants to know where I got married at the Village Club, Sands Point. So look it up, because that ballroom in the middle is freaking believable. It's not even a ball. It's not a big space. It's so small. So, like, if you're going to have, like, 100 people, you're fine.
Well, we had like 120 settings like that.
Yeah, I did too.
How many guests were at your wedding?
About 120.
How many do you think is like too many?
I really think it depends on your family. Like, if you're having like 500 people, I'm just like, how do you have 500 people in your family? You probably don't. And so there's like a lot of controversy that's wrapped around this. Like, do you invite, like, let's say, okay, for example, we'll use Andrea. So now Leah is engaged. So I invite Leah with Justin to my wedding.
Yeah.
Do I invite you with a guest? You're not even dating anyone. So now I did. And looking back, I probably could have been like, whatever. Because, like, but there were people that I met that, like, it's funny because, like, I've never seen them in my life.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember my friend Kat had brought her friend Danielle, and she follows me on Instagram, and she's, like, so sweet with, like, commenting, like, on all my stuff, and I just think she's, like, a great girl. Like, we're not, like, friends, but, like, I met her at my wedding, and I just thought she was, like, she was just, like, a really cool girl. So, like, you know, but it's, like, I don't know, like, is that... Like, do I say, yes, you can have a +1? For me, it was fine. I was having a smaller wedding. It wasn't a big deal. Yeah. But, like, let's say you're having, like, I don't know how many people you're having.
Our minimum is 165.
Okay, so you're having 165. Or even, let's just say 200, just for shits and giggles. You're having 200 people. Now, 200 people are your family members. Now, you have to think, what if, like, 50 of them are single? That's an extra 50 people on top of that.
That's what we're up to. We're up to 250 now. And that's
that's
without +1s.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
it's tough. It's really hard. And now
it's like, where do you draw the line?
But then my whole bridal party is like, you know, some of them have significant others, some of them are still single, but how do you only give +1s to half of them?
Right.
But then, like, at some point they have to understand, I feel like
you do. And I think that the thing is that you can respectfully say to them, listen, if they're with someone for a long time boyfriend, you're not going to be like, oh, you can't bring your boyfriend. Oh, you've been with them for 5 years, or you're not engaged. Forget it. You can't come.
I have that's crazy. I have been excluded from a wedding at one point in my life where Justin went, and we were living together at the time. Like,
see, that's
just
weird.
Because we weren't engaged at the time, but we were living together for a long time. We were together for a long time, like 2 years at the time, and living together. And I'm just like, oh, so bye, have fun with your friends. Like, I guess they don't see me as a friend, and I'm still salty about it. So I'm
clearly.
Like, so I'm just
we couldn't tell.
But how do you do that? Like, I feel like if someone's dating someone, like, I wouldn't tell my one friend who's been with her boyfriend for 2 years.
Wait, so let's back up for a second. Did they give you a reason? Did they go to Justin and say, hey, by the way, we're just doing, like, engaged? They were like, you can do it. Like, it's not, like, you're allowed to do it. At the end of the day, it's your wedding. You can do whatever you want. And I guess you don't have to give an explanation. What is happening to me today? An explanation.
That's it.
Just screw it. Let's just move on.
That's the word, an explanation.
Explanation. Yeah. Well, I can say the word. I'm having a problem right now saying
it's not connecting.
It's not connecting.
The brain cells.
They start to leave you after you hit a certain age. I swear, they just start to just disintegrate.
Well, yeah, they didn't really give him an explanation. They were just kind of like, oh, it's a smaller wedding.
Okay, so then they did kind of give an explanation.
But
I get it.
Then at that point, I was like, okay, fine, you're not coming to my wedding when it happens.
Are they invited to your wedding?
Yeah,
yes, of course they are. Because you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So, of course they are. At 250 people, you're inviting them.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of it is Well, the two of us combined have so many friends. It's, like, absurd. Right. So, and friends are all over the world. So we're, like, inviting everybody. And, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I didn't want a huge wedding. I wanted something small. I just wanted the people that I felt like I was close with to be there at that time. So it's not that I didn't want, like, really distant relatives, but I'm like, I don't see you. So listen, nowadays, if you're going to a wedding, you're giving at least $200 a person. Like, there's no way. You can't be going to a wedding and giving... I don't know if that's inappropriate to say. Personally, I feel like if you're going as a couple, you really need to give that couple at least $400 to cover your plate. And I know people are not in the position to do that sometimes, and I get it. That's another thing, though. Do you reply with, I can't do this? Like, do you say, I can't go? Like, reply with, no, I'm RSVPing no. Not saying that, obviously, you can't afford to give a gift. But if you're going to someone's wedding, etiquette is to really kind of cover the plate. So it's like, if you're going to a wedding and then you're giving them a $50 gift card for 2 people, that's like I don't know. I just feel like that's bad.
So would you rather sit out of a wedding if you can't afford
I would rather sit out than have that couple pay for me and me not be able to cover my plate. Listen, if it's someone that's like really close to me, like a close cousin, as a younger, in my 20s, I'm Andrea's age or whatever, and I'm not engaged, I don't, like that type of thing, that's a little bit of a different story, because it's like you're usually going with your family, so maybe like your family gives a gift like that. But at this stage of my life, I feel like I would rather say, I would rather decline the invite than not give them a gift. I usually always give at least $400.
See, Justin thinks that with our wedding, he was like, we're not making even half the money.
We did not make half back on our money,
because he thinks that people are going to be giving like less than 200, even for couples.
Yeah, most people will give.
I can see that, because people, there's people can't afford. Like,
people can't afford it. And yes, I guess it's okay. You could give like $100 per person, but the thing is that as weddings get more expensive, and I guess you shouldn't expect it back. Yeah. I just feel like for me, I want to try to cover my plate, so I kind of base it off of also too, like, where the wedding is, where's the venue, like what what's the situation, like, is it buffet, is it sit down, is it black tie, like all these things come into play.
I regret giving what I gave for my cousin's wedding.
Well, that's another thing too, because you had a destination wedding, so which puts you into another bracket. You're spending all of this money to travel. You're spending all of this money to do,
we spent over
to go, hotels, airfare, food, all this stuff, and now you have to give a gift as well.
Over $2,000 we spent in airfare and hotel. Yeah, and then I gave a generous
and
gift
days
on top
off of work, so now you're losing pay.
I lost so much money in this wedding.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot.
It wasn't even an open bar.
I know that is a little.
So yeah,
I'm not a fan of that either. If you're having a wedding, I feel like you have.
That's a new TikTok trend.
How are you not having an open bar?
People are saying,
or run a tab.
People are saying skip out on the open bar, and like that's a common tip that's going viral on TikTok.
But are they running a tab? That's okay. So for my engagement party, I did an open bar with a tab. So they assumed it was an open bar, but I was paying for the tab at the end, because I knew, I know this group of people is going to drink, but the majority of people are not going to drink like that. Most people are going to just have like a couple of drinks and then be done with it. And I knew that if I did an open bar, I would pay $20 per person, and I probably, and even for people that I knew were not going to drink at all, and it saved me, honestly, but I will tell you, this was not my engagement party. This was my birthday party, my 40th. The bar, you have to watch this too. They were charging my guests cash, and they were putting it on my tab.
That's sneaky.
Yeah, the bartenders were doing it. And I was like, you rat bastards. That's
really
the last
sneaky.
Party. And we had many parties at this place. And I'm like, I'm never coming back here for that. So we go there for dinner sometimes.
I need to know on the DL what place this is.
I can't do it, because I'm not that type of person.
No, I
don't want to ever bash small businesses, so you'll never hear me say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could go on and find out, but don't stalk me to find out. It was a random birthday party. I'm not going to tell you any more details.
It was a random birthday party, not even on Long Island.
Not even on Long Island.
Oh my
gosh. I was really upset though, because I was like, how can they do that? But they pocket it.
Yeah.
Bastards.
So then going back to the whole engagement thing, you lived with Paul before you got engaged, right?
I did.
Do you think that's a yay or nay?
I think you have to live with someone before you... Again, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. Yeah. It's not like
but your recommendation.
But I feel like
you don't agree with that?
No, I agree. I had this conversation with my
do.
parents, and they're like, "That's weird. If like you like live with someone," I'm like, "How?"
First of all, I would rather live with that person and be like, okay, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Than marry them and then be like, okay, this isn't going to work. Exactly. And now you're getting divorced. Yeah. So you know what?
I fought with my parents. I was graduating college, and I said to Justin randomly one day, I was like, oh, I need to start looking for places to live because I'm graduating soon and I'm not moving home with my parents. I said, I'm not doing that. And then he was like, oh, well, we can move in together. And I was like, okay. Meanwhile, this is 6 months.
This was your dropping of the hint.
This is 6 months into. I didn't even mean to drop a hint.
Oh,
I didn't think
you weren't. You were just saying
he was going
to find a place.
Meanwhile, like, we're together only 6 months at this time, and he was in basic training for 3 months. So I hardly knew this guy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like 3 months isn't really enough to really know someone.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, we can move in together. And I was like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden we started looking for places, and my dad was not happy. He was like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's inappropriate, and he just had a lot to say about it. And my mom was kind of unhappy too because she wanted me to move home with her, but she also realized her and my father never lived together before they got married, and they're divorced. Yeah. So she was like, maybe, you know, you're saving yourself a lot of trouble by getting to know who you're living with and who your partner is going to be, because you're a different person when you're at home, and you're genuinely yourself. You're a different person.
You are a different person at home. I don't disagree with that at all.
And, like, to know, like, the nitty-gritty about somebody else when you're living with them, it says a lot about, like, how you're going to handle, like, situations down the line, too.
There's many conversations that couples should definitely have before they, and not only the living together situation, how do you want to raise children? How many children do you want? You know, that wasn't really in my grand scheme of things, like when I was at that age. So to me, like when I got pregnant with Gianna, was like very much a surprise, where Paul was like jumping up and down. So I don't necessarily, even to this day, I don't know if Paul really wanted, I think he wanted not a bigger family, but I think he would have wanted more kids, but that really wasn't in my, you know, like that's not wasn't in my life plan, I guess. But like you should definitely like sit down, talk about religion, how you're going to raise your children.
Oh, that's another thing.
Strictness. Me and Paul have very different parenting styles too. Like there's, you know, there's things that it's just like these are things that you need to talk about before you.
Yeah, definitely.
For the longest time before we lived together, Justin and I never really
talked. Get a dog.
We never get cats. That's even better.
But the only thing with cats is that you don't have to like walk them and stuff. Like,
but I feel like a lot of
cats, like, but it's not like I feel like though it's not like changing a diaper. Like a dog, you're like, shit, I have to go out and walk the dog, which is similar to like, shit, I have to take the baby to the bathroom. Do you know what I mean? Like where dogs are like a little more hot, because cats are so self-sufficient. I feel like
my cat gets sick all the time, and then we're babying her. Yeah, you know, she got sick last week.
That's right. Is she
and
okay now?
She's back to her troublemaking self, but you know, she's back to being a pain in my ass. But it shows you. Justin didn't even want cats at first.
It shows you like the person's like how their side, like do they have a softer side, are they empathetic, like when people get sick, like things like that.
Justin saw how badly I wanted cats, and he made it happen. Our landlord was like, no, absolutely not, no cats, and he kept working on it. He was like, please, like, let us get cats. Eventually she was like, yes. And the way that he was just excited to tell me, like, he didn't even want cats. Like, it was all for me. So he did it for me. And then once we got the cats, he's like, I can't imagine not having them in our lives. So I feel like it would be the same with kids, because we're both at the point where we're like, kids, no, it's not for us right now, because I'm so young. I always say, like, at least 5-6 years maybe. But
it's good, because you should just, even though you guys are together, take the next couple of years in your 20s to just kind of like, travel, do things, go on vacation, spend time together, and then you'll have that, you know, when you're like 30 or in your 30s.
Yeah, because we have a whole lot of life to live still,
but you know, whenever you're planning life, that's when it happens. So. Yeah. Anytime you plan out things, the opposite goes.
Yeah, that can't happen right now. I have a dress to fit into.
I hear your sister.
Yeah. But, okay, so living together, we're all for it. It's general consensus.
I say
yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah.
So you never dropped hints, right, that you wanted to get engaged to Paul?
Oh, God, no.
Never, not once.
No.
Okay, so listen, I had a bride one time come in, and this was before Justin and I got engaged. I wasn't even working here at the time. And some bride came to me and was like, I have the best tip for you, because she was like, you're going to get engaged soon, but this is how you do it. You go on his phone and you type in rings that you like, so that he gets ads on his phone. And I was like, you're psychotic.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I know. So she was like, now he's going to get ads popping up on his phone. He's going to be like, oh, that's a good idea. And then she does that for every gift she wants. She doesn't tell him what gifts she wants. She goes on his phone. First of all, I have a whole thing about being on your partner's phone. That's controversial, too.
I don't think you should go on your partner's phone.
I don't think so, either.
No, I don't want to go on his phone.
Me neither.
I think you don't trust them, and then the relationship's done. I think once you are going into someone else's phone because you think they're not being trustworthy, the relationship's over.
Right, 100%.
Before you even go on his phone, the relationship's over.
Yeah. Even if they are doing something, it doesn't matter. The idea that you went into, you don't trust them enough, so then there is no trust. The trust is broken. You're done.
Yeah.
Just move on.
That's exactly how I feel.
Just keep it moving.
No, me and my ex, we had each other's passwords for everything, but for like...
I don't even know Paul's password to his phone.
Oh, because he would lose his
Did
stuff.
that just go off?
No, me and my ex, we had each other's passwords, but only because, like, when one person's phone was charging, like, we would, like, just go on the other ones, but never ever did we ever, like, go through anything. Like, if anything, we would sit next to each other and, like, go through, like, TikToks together, go through, like, Instagram, like, together, and stuff. Like, oh, this is funny.
It wouldn't be, like, the end of the world if Justin had my phone, but I just think, like... I don't know. There's no need for it.
Like, the only thing I was ever worried about was, like, him seeing that I was complaining about him to my friends.
Oh, he knows I complain.
That was the one thing I was worried about.
So you want to hear the funniest story? This happened a couple of years ago. So obviously before Nancy passed, they were having an argument, and Nancy had texted me. And we're all on the same line, and I don't know what happened, but the lines got, like, I guess, crossed in some way, and he was like, I can see all your text messages on his iPad, whatever it was, and he was like, you just keep talking shit about me. And I was like, I'm out of here. I gotta go. I didn't say anything bad. I didn't say anything bad.
Justin knows, like, he knows if I'm talking shit because I tell him to his face.
Yeah, I don't care. Honestly, there's nothing that I wouldn't say to Paul that I wouldn't say. There's nothing I would say to you that I wouldn't say to Paul's face.
And that's how it should be, like, in friend groups, too.
Maybe not. Like... I guess, but, like, sometimes I can be, like, a little...
Okay, so we're all not gonna go onto our partner's phone and look up rings we like.
No.
But what I did, because I was like, listen, you have to get a ring I like. Because I don't know. Yeah. You were like, I don't care. And I'm just like... It's a ring that means so much to me. So I was like, I want to tell you what I like beforehand so that you don't get me you don't spend so much money on a ring.
It's not that I didn't want, it never dawned on me to be like, to pick it out. Like, it just, I don't know if it was just a different time. I mean, I just we're going back 20 years. You guys were like 5. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I didn't want our tastes to be different. So, like, I didn't want him to spend thousands of dollars on a ring for me that I was like, no, I don't like this. So I said to him, I took matters into my own hands, and I was like, I'm just gonna DM him the rings I like.
Right.
So one day,
you knew it was coming.
No, I mean, I would mention it to him and be like, I can't wait to be married, or like, I can't wait to plan our wedding. But I work in bridal. I'm surrounded by brides.
Right. So
like, I talk about it all the time.
How did
out of the blue, I would just be like, DM.
So you were just like, let me DM you a picture of a wedding ring, because this is what I like.
Yeah, or like the TikToks where it's
was he like LOL?
Yeah,
I mean,
like, what was his response?
So Justin, when on our first date, before we were even officially boyfriend girlfriend, he said, "Wow, you're wife material." So he always has made comments like, "I'm gonna be his wife."
You already knew you guys were getting married.
We knew it because we were living together
too. Where is it where you're like, this? Listen. Let's back up for a second. There were guys that I dated in the past or that I knew that I was like, I would marry this person. No, sorry, Paul. But so, and again, we're going back years. There were a couple of people that I was like, I would marry him. There were a couple of people that I were like, fuck no. Yeah. And I need to run as far as possible. But I'm having fun right now, so screw it. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
What about the girls that, like, shouldn't be doing that? Like, the girls that you're forcing someone. This guy is not in the realm of, I want to get married. He's not talking about wifey material. He's not even talking about living together.
Oh, I think you have to at least be living together before this
conversation
conversation
think that, like, this is a slippery slope, I feel like.
this is a slippery
This is a very slippery slope.
It worked for me. Because I got the ring I sent him. And
this is like how to lose a guy in 10 days. Yes. How to lose a guy in 10 seconds.
If he's going to run, and he's not your perfect match.
This is true. I do believe that, because then he wasn't the right guy.
Meant to be.
But I feel like there's girls that do push it. When are we getting married? When are we getting married?
I pushed it.
If you're...
Oh my God. I'll be the first to admit I pushed it.
He was talking about marriage.
Yeah,
he was saying your wifey
he was like,
material.
in time. He was like, when I feel like... He actually got to a point where he was like, every day that you bring it up adds a year onto how long we're going to be dating and not engaged. Because I was bringing it up every day. I was like, I can't wait till we're engaged. I can't wait to have, look how pretty it would look.
So he was basically like,
shut up.
He was like, calm down.
Yeah, and then before we got engaged.
Speak of the devil, it's my husband. Continue.
Before we got engaged, he actually started an argument with me because he thought I knew that he was going to propose. So the night before, he proposed on this whole like big ski trip. But I planned this trip. So the night before, we're laying in bed, and I'm like, good night, I love you. I roll over, and then all of a sudden he goes, I just need to let you know right now, if any of your friends mention engagement at all this weekend, I'm going to be livid. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, why would anyone mention it, first of all, and why would I be able to control what my friends say in front of you? Because all my friends were like, oh, when are you getting engaged? Like, everyone was so excited because they loved us. So he started the fight, and because he thought I knew that he was going to propose. So he was like, if anyone says anything. So here I am sobbing in bed. I'm like, I don't know why you're starting this fight. And then the next day, like, he acts like everything's brand new, like back to normal, and I'm like, oh, here we go. And I'm still pissed off. I'm sitting in the car while he's driving upstate, and I'm like not talking to him. I'm giving him the silent treatment. And I was like, I think that was disrespectful how you started that argument with me last night and whatever. So then fast forward a day or two, he proposes, and he was like, I had to throw you off your course. Throw you off, yeah. I didn't have my nails done. I was already thrown off course. I planned the trip. So, like, yeah. There was no signs that I had known that we were getting engaged. But, so, yeah, he was very upfront about, like, listen, don't rush me. I don't want to be rushed. Like, I want to do it in my own time. But there was a time where I was like...
honestly, should be the thing. Because I just feel like it doesn't matter.
But then I'm on my own timeline too. So I would constantly have like sit down conversations with him and be like, listen, are we on the same page in life? Like, what do you want? Do you like, when are we going to have a house? Like, I can't just sit around and wait for him to make decisions in my life. So I was like, you know, I was pushing. I wanted to get engaged. Like, I want our lives to start together. We've been living together for 3 years. Put a ring on it, you know? Okay. Well, at the time we were living together, like 2.5 years.
3 years. I just mean, like, I was just really referring to the girls that are like, let's do this already. And the guy just is not even, like, remotely talking about it.
I think you kind of know in a relationship, though, if you're on the same page or not. No?
I don't know.
There's a lot of girls out there that
get left at the altar.
So.
Really?
You don't think there's girls out there that are like pushing it for, because they're looking to be like, I want to get married, I want to get married, I want to get married, and it's just like, meanwhile this guy's probably not the guy. Yeah. But if he's not even like in that, I don't know.
I think too sometimes like people get caught up in the glamorous part of it.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the
it's not that glamorous because it costs a lot of freaking money.
Yeah, but like the pictures, the like the parties,
it is fun. Yeah,
like all of that stuff. I feel like that's what they look forward to, and it's like expected. But I don't know. But
financially, I have to say this is like the hardest time of my life so far, because I'm just like, oh my god, we have so much money we have to save for, blah blah blah, and it's just like, it is like such a stressful time. So for any like one who's single or who is like not dating and not engaged yet, like don't rush it.
Wait,
like,
so now
enjoy your life.
Now that you're planning a wedding, do you kind of wish that the engagement happened later?
No. Really? No, I definitely don't feel that way, but I'm just like, because I was ready. I was always ready. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's just a stressful time. Like, yeah, it looks so much fun, but like once you're engaged, you're like, holy shit, I have to plan a whole wedding now, and it's going to cost us how much? And like now there's family drama involved too, like who's getting invited, who's not getting invited. And
there's always family. There's always drama wrapped around weddings, no matter what it is.
Aunt so-and-so, who you haven't talked to in 10 years, she wants to come now because she's family. And it's like, okay, relax.
That's what we were talking about before. Like it's like, where do you draw that line? If I haven't seen you in like 10 years and we're not really,
I don't know. It's hard because I feel like it is such an exciting time, but it's also such a stressful time. So if you're not on the same page, like, I don't know, maybe I wish I didn't push it so much, but then at the same time, I'm like, I was happy with our relationship, how it went. I was just like, I couldn't wait to call him a fiance because I knew we were going to get married eventually, but I was like, I don't even care if we don't get married for another 10 years. I just want to be engaged. Like, I want to be at that next step in our relationship. Not just, like, boyfriend, girlfriend. But also keep in mind, he's in the military. And when he gets deployed, I'm the last to know. A girlfriend, they don't care at all about you. A fiance or a wife, you're the first to know anything that happens. Like, if he's in Afghanistan, I'm the first to get calls. Mm-hmm. As a girlfriend, I get nothing. And then I have to rely on his parents to relay all that information to me. I can't even... He was deployed for 6 months during COVID, and I couldn't even go to where he was to be on base with him because I wasn't a wife or a fiance. I was just a girlfriend, and no one cares. So that's another reason why I was like, I'm ready to be your fiance or wife. Like, I'm ready to do this because I don't want to be so separated anymore.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so that was another reason why I was pushing it, because I was just like, if you get deployed overseas for a year, I need to know. I need to be able to communicate with you. I need to know things. Yeah. If something happens to you, I don't want to get a phone call from your mom telling me that something happened to you. I want to be the first to know.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's why there was a little bit more to our relationship where I was like, all right, you're talking about getting deployed to go overseas in like 2 years. Mm-hmm. We have to be married for that.
Right.
I was like, I can't be a girlfriend while you're overseas.
Right, yeah.
So that was for me the issue.
How do you deal with like being separated for so long?
I think it's actually really beneficial. So because I need a lot of time to work on myself, and I feel like when he comes home, I'm always a better version of myself.
Right.
And then when he is home, I get to just enjoy being with him. And I think he feels the same.
Yeah.
So the distance doesn't really bother us. Like, even when he's home, like, he's not deployed in the Army right now. He's home doing contract nursing. He's a live-in contract nurse with, like, these people. And he's not home 5 days out of the week. So for us, it's just, like, I spend that time of the week, like, really, like, deep cleaning the house, getting to know myself, setting personal goals. And then he'll come home. He comes home Sunday through Tuesday, and then he leaves for another 5 days. But, like, that Sunday through Tuesday, like, is the best time ever. We go on dates. We, hang out together. So it's not always going to be like that, but we're separated a lot. But I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much. It used to bother me more. But...
Well, you get used to it.
We were only together 3 months when he had to go to basic training for 3 months. Yeah. So double the time that we were in the relationship. He had to go away. And actually, no, we weren't even together 3 months at the time. We were only together like 6 weeks, and he went away for 3 months. We only had to rely on letters to communicate back and forth. So that was rough because...
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it was the most romantic time of my life. And I would go back to that in a heartbeat. But, yeah, because the letters back and forth, I don't know. If you're meant to be with someone, you're meant to be with them. And they know how to communicate with you even when you're apart. So.
True.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. I do feel like if you're meant to be with someone, you're meant to be with them. And that you will be with them, and that's just how the world goes around.
So even if you're, like, sending them DMs about, like, hey, this is a ring I like, if they want to be with you and they're your person, they're not going to get scared. Yeah. They're going to be like, okay,
if they do get scared, something to think about. So today was, like, a very good, like, I feel like we kind of, like, touched on so many, like, relationship things. So hopefully, it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was, like, a funny episode. It was
it was more like deep.
It was pretty deep.
It was
I'm sure we could get deeper at other points.
I know.
But still.
But if you want funny, you should check out our
other
podcast,
get pretty
which we don't have
too,
yet.
Though.
Nobody start looking for Patreons. We do have a thing with the app you were saying.
Oh yes, we have had girls write in saying that they don't know where to find this app. So if you wanted to
explain, the link in our bio. So it's the Spaces app. And then through the Spaces app, we have our own little platform on there for you to access everything. So it acts as its own app once you're in theirs.
Yeah, so you have to download Spaces.
Yeah, but maybe one day we'll have our own little icon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Eventually. It's just, we're doing this as a trial run to see if people actually like the app feature. And then maybe one day we'll have our own app. But... this one, it works just the same. You just have to download. It's Spaces.
Yeah,
by
you just
Wix.
download Spaces by Wix, and then you can put in the Ivory Main.
Yeah, so it'll prompt you to do like a code.
Right.
And all of that can be found in the bio. I think if you click the link in our bio, it automatically will bring you to. So it goes to the App Store to download the Spaces app, and then it already prompts in that code
like for
that
the
you need
Ivory
for our
Main
Ivory
code.
Main.
Yeah. So
you don't even need to do anything.
And the app is great
that.
too because it keeps you updated if we have sales, when our podcasts come out, events. blog posts, anything that's going on.
You can do shopping.
Yeah, you can do shopping right from the app. It's like really good. I actually like the shopping app better than I liked the other app. Like, so it works pretty nicely. Yeah, and don't forget, to follow us on all those social medias. And if you have questions, write in.
Always.
Let us know. Comment on. It's on YouTube too.
We have our email. We have our DM.
Yeah, Spotify and YouTube. So if you want to watch us, Spotify, YouTube, and if you want to just listen, then Spotify.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do both because I just like to hear myself talk.
Oh God,
I don't.
I listen. I usually put the YouTube one on and I push it to the top and then I listen to it just to make sure that like it's all there and no like.
That's good.
Yeah, I just do it quick when she sends it over and then go from there. But,
I know.
Yeah. I kind of like our simple podcast. I know there's like much more like extravagant ones out there, and I just think that like I don't know. I just like that we're talking personable. And, so we definitely would love the questions. So send them in.
Yeah, send in questions, please. Yeah. I know we did that Q&A.
Yeah, the Q&A
but we could do another one.
Yeah, we can do more, and we'll just talk about things at the end of podcasts. Yeah,
and
so if you have questions,
I'm excited to have a guest on the podcast.
Yes, we have some guests that want to come in.
Yeah, we have some guests.
Wow,
but they're more for our X-rated podcast.
Oh,
no, we have some for regular too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. We definitely do. Have a couple that want to come on.
Who's coming in for our X-rated podcast? I'm excited.
What
is happening?
One of our friends was in an open relationship. Oh, just to kind of shed some light on it.
And she can definitely like call in too. Like, they're back. So this is perfect. So our bride is here. So Andrew's gonna open the door. We'll see you guys all next week. Bye. See you next week.